Where are you employed?
I'm presently employed with the Rose City Urgent Care and Family Practice Clinics in Portland, Oregon, or in the greater Portland area.
And are you familiar with the medical history of Matthew Mayfield Johnson, Jr.?
Yes, I am familiar, as available on the records in that facility.
And did you have a chance to look at those records in the fall of last year regarding some diagnoses that were made?
Yes, I did.
And what did you see in those records?
What I saw in those records was that a diagnosis was made of diabetes mellitus type 2 sometime in the spring, particularly sometime in early May or late April of 2014.
And as a result of that diagnosis, was any particular course of treatment prescribed to Mr. Johnson?
Yes, a medication was prescribed, specifically a medication called metformin.
Say it again.
Metformin, M-E-T-F-O-R-M-I-N.
Thank you.
And during May of last year, was Mr. Johnson taking metformin?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, he was.
Just to clarify, were you the prescribing physician?
No, I was not. Yes, this was prior to my employment with the facility. His provider at that time, his primary provider at that time, had prescribed the medication.
Specifically on May 16th, 2014, was Mr. Johnson taking metformin? To the best of your, he was under prescription.
By the review of the records, yes, he was.
All right.
It was under prescription, but you don't know specifically if he was taking it or not?
I can't say specifically that he was taking it, but he certainly was prescribed the medication, and I can confirm that the medication was obtained.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there, have you had a chance to review medical records from Salem Hospital regarding his treatment just after his arrest on May 16th, 2014?
Yes, I did.
And what were the symptoms that led him to be taken to Salem Hospital?
Nausea and vomiting.
Was the diagnosis of diabetes by another physician accurate?
At the time of his emergency department evaluation, the diabetes diagnosis stood. The reason for that is the emergency department's physician's ability to diagnose type 2 diabetes mellitus under the circumstances when he saw Mr. Johnson was not possible.
And I'm sorry, I want to make sure we understand your answer. Are you talking about the emergency room at Salem Hospital, or are you talking about the urgent care clinic in Portland?
So, as I understand the question, you want to know whether or not the emergency department physician at Salem Hospital was able to diagnose type 2 diabetes mellitus on May 16, 2014. Is that correct?
No, I'm sorry, and it's probably my inartful question. Is it your belief that the original diagnosis of diabetes and the decision to prescribe metformin was an accurate diagnosis?
No, I do not believe it was an accurate diagnosis nor an appropriate action.
And if one is prescribed metformin when one does not have diabetes, what is the body reaction?
So the body reaction to someone, whether they have diabetes or not, is not substantial. In other words, the effects of metformin on somebody who does not have diabetes is, for the most part, no different than somebody who has diabetes. However, the adverse effects that are related to metformin can be seen in both people who have diabetes or do not have diabetes if they're taking the medication. Does that answer your question?
And what would those adverse effects be?
At least a third of people who take metformin have gastrointestinal adverse effects. And of those, although there aren't percentages, nausea and vomiting can be substantial.
And that sort of nausea and vomiting might interfere with their ability to understand what's going on at any given moment?
I would say that to the extent that they're being ill and the experience of being ill would potentially impair somebody's ability to act, shall I say, clearly.
Right, thank you. Nothing further.